Why hello ladies and gentlemen and dogs left at home with the TV on. We're back with the Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled. And this time I've got a few mods that are going to make this thing even more livable on long trips. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so first up we have this simple little Atlas throttle lock kit, and if you don't know what this is, it is actually a very rudimentary cruise control system for your bike. So the way that it works is it has this this set and this cancellation switch here on the end. And then what that does is it holds the throttle tube in place, and then if you click cancel, it disengages the throttle tube so that it goes back to that neutral feeling, or that neutral position where you can use it. And this is just from Amazon. It is a little pricey for essentially what it is. I think it's like about $130, but something that is well reviewed and well tested, and is also sold on sites like Revzilla. So it's a pretty reputable thing. And I kind of didn't want to play around with something that could potentially put you in harm's way if it failed. So that should be a really simple install. And then we have our second item here. And if you guys have been following along with this build, you'll know the name Hepco and Becker. They provided the engine guards here. I'm on the wrong side. Let's try that again. I'm an idiot! So these are the engine crash bars and oil cooler guards that are from Hepco and Becker. And these are a really great product. A little more on the pricey side, but you know that you're getting a really good product. They're designed and made in Germany, so they're pretty high spec. So that being said, the item that I got this time is actually a small little luggage rack from Hepco and Becker. And this is just as nice of a piece as the other ones too. It's that same durable black powder coated tubing, and comes with all the hardware there too. And I've been hesitant to do this for a couple reasons. Number one, I haven't really done very many long rides or trips until recently with this bike. I actually went to Arkansas with my dad. He has a Honda Africa Twin, which is just loaded with modern features and luggage capabilities straight out of the factory. So that was the number one reason. Number two is that I didn't really want to ruin the clean lines of this bike. Most times, I use it just to ride around town and occasionally go scramble, but occasionally I'll just take it off-road nearby. So I didn't really need anything that crazy, but going on that long, 5-hour trip made me realize I didn't want to wear a backpack the whole time, especially if you have someone with you and they don't want to have to wear it either. So this was a pretty clean and minimal design, so I think it's going to be a really nice addition to the bike as well. Number three, my lord. Number three, my lord. Alright, this is the one I'm most excited about. And this came all the way from the same motherland as this one. Dear sweet, blessed Italia. So it actually only took about 2 weeks or so, which is faster than some US companies I've seen. That is right, ladies and germs and dog. We have ourselves a new seat, a replacement one. Now, right about now you may be asking, why the hell do you have a replacement seat on a bike that's, not even 2 years old yet and has maybe, 3,500 miles on it? Great question. This thing is in perfect shape, and it's really great for off-road riding because it's got that grippy, textured material like a dirt bike. However, this is the Ducati Comfort seat meant for all the Scrambler lineup. So this adds, I believe it's 25 millimeters of thickness, which is, I think it's an inch if I recall, of added extra comfort foam. And that was another really big thing too, is taking both the trip to Houston and then Arkansas. I realized how much, there's no better way to say it, how much my ass hurt riding this thing. So I really wanted to get something else, and I didn't really like the way that the Sargent seats looked, although highly recommended, and they were also really expensive. This was, I think, 280 shipped from Italia. So pretty good deal, and it's a Ducati brand name one, and I actually really like this padded leather style that they have. So
close your mouth.
this seat up. Here's the normal, regular factory seat with that grippy textured finish on it. Alright, let's see how it feels to sit on though. That's the important part. Well, because it's new, it still feels a bit, you know, maybe a little stiff per se. So immediately I can tell that it's a bit wider, so it doesn't feel like your body is sitting on as much of a narrow path as it is, you know, kind of a wider, more spread out, dispersed load. So it does feel comfortable from that. It doesn't feel like, you know, ultra plush, but I think it certainly feels more comfortable than the other one, especially on your inner thighs here. It just feels a little more padded and, like I said, more wide. So I think this one is going to be a win in terms of ergonomics, but I'll have to go kind of for an extended ride and see how it actually feels for us. It looks pretty nice too, though. I like the leather look. It's a little bit of, you know, kind of a different approach for this bike. It looks a little more cafe vintage. All right, let's go ahead and open this luggage rack up here. Very nice quality and finish as expected. Got a nice Hepco and Becker logo there. Very nice hardware kit and instructions included, of course, as we've come to expect from Hepco and Becker. Okay, looks like it's very straightforward. Step one, we're just going to remove this plastic fender on the back, the painted one, and then drop it down to the rear wheel, and then we're going to put these spacers in place. We've got to pull out the plastic plugs from the frame, and then we will use the spacers in the hardware, and that's pretty much it. Let's get cracking. So there are 16 and there are 20 mil bolts. So the 16s are going to go in the front and then the 20s in the rear. They all get washers, but only the rear get these big washers here, these thicker spacers. $20 mil bolt and flat washer through the tab, and then our spacer here. And then line this up with the rear bolt hole. Let's thread that in partially. Oh, they're not. The hell? Wow. Big failures today. These bolts are not even the right size at all. So this could very well have been my fault, and I think it probably was. I might have ordered it for the wrong year. I'll have to go back and look at that and see. But it looks like they changed from an M8 to an M10 size bolt on these. So I got the corresponding M10, 16, and 20 front and rear. I have a hardware store literally right outside the neighborhood. Works perfectly. Thank you, Ace Hardware. If you'd love to sponsor me, I'd love you back. Make sure these fit, and they're also stainless too. I really lucked out in finding these. I mean, I guess that's normal size, but might have to clearance the spacers a little bit, it looks like, though. Doesn't quite fit through with these new bolts. Just test these up though, make sure they work. Oh yeah, perfect. Fitting right up. Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and clearance those spacers real quick before we do this. As you'll witness, I had to do a bit of modification beyond just getting new bolts. The holes had to be drilled to accommodate the larger bolts, and some of the brackets needed slight bending to become parallel with the mating surfaces. So, out came the torch and a little bending. Well, lads, don't let anyone tell you that the wrong parts won't fit your bike. We made it happen. Definitely took some persuasion, but metal can be convinced with a little bit of patience, heat, and salt. No. Patience, heat, and force. So, let's see if we can make this now sit okay with this this rear fender tail tidy. With the seat and bars installed, it was time to look at mounting the Atlas throttle switch. Man, this came pre-installed with the friction pads. I bought a used one. And yeah, it already came with those on there. Hopefully I can make this work. I'll leave the installation how-tos to Atlas. They have great write-ups and install videos on their official channel, even bike-specific how-tos. I will say, it's as simple as figuring out which kit you need, labeled top kit or bottom kit, opening the clamping mechanism, mounting it on the throttle, and then using provided adhesive shims that are the friction point that hold the throttle in place at the correct spacing. I guess that's what I get for buying a used one. It just doesn't stay at all. I ended up ordering a new kit, and that one does work perfectly. So, if we're being honest, I've run out of skill a couple times now, and laid the bike down. Oh well. Time to replace this lever though. Another German brand that is excellent in quality is SW Motech. They're the only real folding shift lever option I could find for the Desert Sled. It was pricey, but should be worth it in terms of longevity and practicality when accidentally dropping the bike when off-roading. Made of CNC billet aluminum with a folding toe lever, this kit is ridiculously nice. Want to keep this in the washer and the O-ring that goes with it. You versus the guy she told you not to worry about. So we just need to make sure that this is creased up okay. And then run this through. This original shift linkage here I broke down in Moab, if you guys recall that. We made it work, and it's always worked since, but it's shortened by quite a bit, and I can't actually actuate this forward due to the bolt that is holding in the bottom of the engine guard here. So I actually do have a new one of these, and I'm going to go ahead and throw that on to ensure that we can make this thing work here. Camera died there, so we are going pro. Quite literally. And we're gonna run this to the bottom here. Pull it back just a tad so we can throw the retaining nut on the back side. Okay, I think I did it. I am a dog. I'm gonna bark. I'm gonna bark at you. Let's see how she do if she goes through the gears. Okay, one neutral. Well, what we would call on Ducati neutral. 2, 3, 4. Can't seem to actuate into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can't get this thing into 5th while it's actually going. Okay, well, as expected, it did work once we were out there. Everything feels great. Feels really nice, and yeah, it's gonna be nice to have that folding protection if we lay it down. I love to lay it down. Now, of course, this thing is adjustable, which is really cool. So what I want to do though is move it just slightly back because my toes are kind of the part shifting it, and I like it to be just a tad bit closer than that and not on my toes, so I'm getting a little more leverage and should just be a little more comfortable. It's going to be as simple as grabbing your Allen key. Doesn't even have to be on a ratchet. Loosening that up just a tad, and then sliding that backwards just a little bit, and then tightening it down in place. There we go. Awesome. See how that feels. Boom. There we go. With the new mods installed, it was time for a test ride. Okay, there we go. When testing the audio for the cruise control, it was blown out and you couldn't hear anything, but it's a really nice, easy to use system. One of the nice things that if you want to disengage it, you could just roll the throttle forward. Otherwise, you just use the set and cancel buttons like you would with any other cruise control system. Being able to let your throttle hand rest on long highway rides is not only incredibly nice, but very interesting to experience on a motorcycle. I'd highly recommend one of these kits for long rides, though. Actually, for testing purposes, this is Mexico. So I gotta say, right off the bat, these are definitely pros. Everything here is working well. Sometimes when you add adjustable parts and moving parts, they tend to create a little bit of play and maybe not feel quite as good as something as a solid, non-moving setup, like a fixed lever in this case. But I don't think that I've lost any of the feel here, and it feels great on upshift, downshift. Feels, the best thing I could say about it is it feels OEM, because OEM is, it feels great on this. Seat is extremely comfortable. One of the most comfortable things about it is this front area here. Like I talked about before, it's a little bit more wide, and one of the other benefits is that the other part was so curved and so steep, it was raked forward. And what that would do is, for the male audience out there, which is literally like 99.9%, we got Lysol statistics on this channel, that would force you to kind of sit on your balls, like literally, like especially on compression and in cornering. Like when you brake, you'd lean forward a whole lot, kind of like a sport bike position. I'm gonna shut up for a second and just enjoy that beautiful sunset right now on the lake. Oh man, I love this bike. So, I really like the seat a lot. It feels great, and I really dig the look of it too. Like I said, it's a little more, you know, kind of vintage or like cafe racer style a little bit, but it suits the bike well since it's kind of a old school design from that era anyways. Yeah, so very much pros. Now, I have used the luggage rack before. I have admittedly done some riding before these mods, and it is extremely helpful. I'm able to put a bag there, and you know, whatever I need to strap something down there. It's just been really helpful and really nice. So that's kind of a given mod and how that works. But overall, I am really happy with how these mods turned out, and yeah, they just make the bike a little bit more usable and a little more friendly day to day and on some adventure riding and long trips. So I'm really excited about using them some more, and you're gonna see that in a video that I'm gonna start filming tomorrow actually. So we are officially in Ducati season, baby. Hope you guys are excited for that. That is a creepy sign of a little boy, and I thought it was a real person because I don't have my glasses on. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video and any of our other videos. If you enjoyed it, please make sure and consider giving a like or a subscribe. Hopefully you guys enjoy seeing the Desert Sled back again. We've got a couple more videos with this thing that I'm going to do, and plenty of other exciting projects. So hope you all have a great day. Thank you.